Previously on In My 20s, I was at home doing some chores 5 months ago. So here's a brand new episode finally, but this time in Japan as I take you through what we did, but also the books that I read. In some of my Instagram DMs, I've been seeing that you guys are requesting some more vlog type videos again. And honestly, most of this B-roll will serve as a vlog of what we did in Japan. As you can see, it was mostly reading, eating at a fun place, walking around. Ryan got a haircut, and when Ryan was working, I was reading. I finished romantic comedy really fast, so then I started a thriller book, and I actually also finished that one pretty quickly. So I will give all my thoughts on the books at the end. Our hotel room is kind of like an RV van. It's super cozy. Ryan's editing. I'm gonna be reading. I actually started reading this yesterday and got halfway through, but it's Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. It was the book of the month pick for literary fiction, but it gives romantic comedy vibes. So it's been very interesting so far. Morning. I have big news. I officially like matcha lattes. I feel like everyone's arc with matcha is absolutely hating it to addiction. There's just no in between really. I have 20 pages left of romantic comedy. I'm gonna knock it out. I'm enjoying it. And we'll see what I think. We spent a few days in Tokyo, going to different cities like Shibuya, Harajuku, places like that. And then we got on a bunch of trains to go to the world's oldest hotel, which is, if you can probably guess, for Ryan's channel. But it ended up being the coolest experience, even for me, to just like sit around and read my books. This was obviously a much smaller town than the experience of being in Tokyo, and I honestly loved it so much. Everywhere we went was just so peaceful, and actually even in Tokyo, it was pretty peaceful because the public transport is basically silent, and I just found everywhere to be so relaxing. Everyone was so kind. I am an annoyingly picky eater, so I was a little bit scared about that, but I ended up loving the food absolutely everywhere. I had a lot of curry, which was amazing. A lot of sushi, obviously. Tons of coffee. And yeah, we haven't even gone to the cherry blossoms yet, guys. That was insane. Hello. I am currently in the world's oldest hotel in Japan. In the world, but it is in Japan. And this is the craziest place I've ever been to. I'm having so much fun, I can't even try to express it in words. This is the place where people go to, is it called a natural spring?
Onsen.
Onsen. But you get with strangers and you go in it. We don't know, I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet. But doesn't this book kind of match the vibes of this place? I just started it and I'm just gonna do some reading here. There's really just some relaxation to be done before meals or going to the bath things. So this is crazy. I'm freaking out a little bit. Okay, book review time in the oldest hotel. I'm gonna be a bit awkward because my friends are sitting right here. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
So I'm just gonna pretend like I'm talking to y'all. How about that?
I'm great.
Okay, romantic comedy. This book was so good at first. It's really fun because she's a comedy sketch writer for a show that's basically SNL, and it was really fun to read about that. But then, all of a sudden, it takes place in 2020 with the events that took place in 2020, and it just kind of got stressful to read about. I just didn't really want to read about that in a fiction book. That was really fun at first, but then just felt very real. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars, but it was really enjoyable. I think I would read other books.
Come on, Zach.
I'm like mid-reading book. No way! What did I say? Oh yeah, 3 stars. Would read other books by her. It was entertaining until like the real life stuff kind of distracted me a bit. And then I started A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham yesterday and then finished it yesterday as well. I don't remember the last time I read a book that fast. It's your classic thriller, and I also really enjoyed this book, but I feel like the end had some loose ends that I wish she tied up. Like some things don't make that much sense to me, but the plot twist was good. I kind of guessed it, but I also was caught off guard a little bit. It was a really fun time though. Like for a good thriller, read it in one day. Don't want to put it down, great. But because of the weird loose ends at the end, I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. So we have a 3, we have a 4, and hopefully next we get a 5. Good morning, guys. They gave us these to wear around the hotel, and they're so cozy. So yesterday I told y'all that I started this book. It's the same author who wrote the Shatter Me series, which I devoured and loved it. And this is a very similar fantasy romance, I believe. And I got about 37 pages in, and I think I'm just gonna go with my gut and DNF it here. It's just a feeling I have. I don't know. I'm just not meant to be reading it right now, but now I have no idea what to read. I only have 2 more books that I brought with me on this trip, so I might just download something on my Kindle. I'm gonna have to figure out what that is. So I'm gonna scroll through BookTube and Book Talk for a little bit. So from the world's oldest hotel, we took another few trains to get to Mount Fuji, which is this massive volcano that's technically still active, but there's like a town around it. And it's also where we were hopefully going to catch the cherry blossoms. And we were staying in an Airbnb this time. New location alert. Ding. Okay, sorry, everyone is here.
Oh, sorry, 1 second.
We came to a new city to see the cherry blossoms, and they're so good here. But I did choose a new book to read, and that is The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. Her new romance book. It's her new adult romance book, and it says Mr. Wrong number 2. But I don't think it's really in a series. I'm confused. I've read the first one too, but I don't feel like it's a series yet, so I'll tell you if you need to read the first one or not. But it's really good so far. Time lapse me reading. I'm halfway through. It's really good.
Oh my gosh.
It's a documentary about the fastest reader in the world.
It's so cute, Mama. This book is so good so far. I'm gonna read Under the Cherry Blossoms. The next day we got to go into town and finally walk around and see the cherry blossoms and Mount Fuji. And I cannot describe the experience of actually seeing these trees in person. The colors were so vivid, and it was actually frustrating to pull out your iPhone and try to take photos or videos because it just looked so bad in comparison on the phone. It was actually crazy. I took a bunch of film photos, and I actually love the way that the film captured the colors. I think it's a lot more accurate. But yeah, I can't describe how amazing this experience was. It was weirdly spiritual almost. It made me think about heaven a lot, just because I had known that these trees existed on the earth somewhere, but I'd never seen them in real life. And it just felt unreal that my eyes were seeing colors like that existed here. And so yeah, it just made me think about other things that I have never seen before. So yeah, if you can't tell, this was a very magical experience for me, and it was definitely my top moment of the entire trip. Home. The jet lag, guys, was very real. I felt very disconnected, mind and body, for a few days, but I'm back on a normal schedule, I think, kind of. I'll update y'all on The Love Wager because I finished it. I love Lynn Painter, one of my favorite romance authors of all time. This is my second adult romance book that I read by her, and I've also read 2 young adult books by her. And my conclusion is that she is queen of young adult romance. I think she is like just the best at it. And her adult romances obviously have all the same charming aspects in her writing style and like the funny things that happen, but I never quite connect to the relationship as much. And I don't know, there's just something about her young adult ones that I absolutely love. So I'm gonna give it like a 3.75 stars, very randomly specific. But yeah, she's an auto-buy author forever. I will buy anything that she writes. Yeah, that's my rating for that one. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of In My 20s, but also a reading vlog type of thing, kind of mashed together. If you wanna see more of the film photos I took and just things that I'm currently reading, you can check up with me on Instagram or my vlog channel or TikTok, and I'll see you guys somewhere else on the internet. Bye.